Hello everyone, welcome to CNA Daily Newspaper Analysis. Today we have got the following topics to discuss. We'll discuss about child mortality. We'll discuss about the adoption and its respective norms. We'll discuss about a defense system in Atmanirbhar Push. We'll go with the bioengineered corneas. And lastly, we'll go with something with the STI, that is the science, technology and innovation. So let's begin. The very first topic associated here is the child mortality. Today we can see that if I define about child mortality, it's clearly written over here that a death between the first and the fifth birthday is measured by a rate equal to the ratio of the death of this age and the average population in the same age range. So you can see that whatever the death range is between 0 to 5 years, we directly define it as a child mortality. Okay. So today, right from 45 per 1000 live births in 2019, today India has got around 35 per 100 live births in 2019. Okay. And this is because of the greater involvement of government in every form of adoption or in every form of ways through which the diseases or various number of associated factors with child mortality can be reduced in a greater extent. So today, if you see about the causes of child mortality, so child mortality hota kyun hai? I could say that the very first point is associated with the insecurity and illiteracy that is especially in a women, because we all know that the mother is very much responsible for the adoption for a regulation of the hygienity of the requirements of a child being born within this period age of 0 to 5. Okay, so we can see that children which are directly born in some of the poorest households, okay, are nearly twice as likely to die before the age of 5 as those from the richest one, or who can directly afford various number of associated factors for the development of the child. Okay, and we all know that in these poorest households, the likely mothers will be very much of less educated as well as very much of less literate ones. Okay, so this is the very basic conditions. Second condition, if I can see, is the lower access for girls to effective prevention and treatment of health services, and are likely responsible for the marked gender differences in mortality. Okay, so because we can see that today in some period of time our country was very much not focused for the adoption, or they are very much not happy when a child or a girl child is being born. Okay, so obviously we can see that the number of girl child that is born were directly killed either in the womb or just after the birth. Okay, so this is also one other condition. We can also see that there is a lack of availability of the basic necessities of life. Supposedly, I'm talking about the safe drinking water. Okay, so because we are not providing them with the safe drinking water, we are not providing them with hygienic. Okay, we are not providing them with a good bathrooms or sanitary pads for the girls. So in all such circumstances, various number of diseases directly renders in the child between 0 to 5. Okay, also in some point of time whenever a girl child is getting the puberty age, okay, supposedly whenever she is directly attaining maturity by physical maturity, that is I am telling about the biological maturity, that is I am telling about the starting of the menstrual cycle. So during this age, as soon as the girl started menstruating, she is very much eligible now to produce child. So therefore, the early marriages of girls and the high rates of anemia of pregnant women, okay, low nutrition levels, or the mothers being underweight is also some of the basic conditions which directly act as a challenging factor in delivering a healthy children. Okay, and this teenage pregnancies directly results in some of the low birth weight of the newborns. Okay, because if the mother is only not well developed, not nutritionally able, then how can she can produce a child which may be very much filled and healthier? So therefore, the ignorance of the nutritional needs, even with respect to the mother as well as the infants and the young children, and repeated infections can also aggravate the situations of child mortality. Okay, so today, because of such number of activities, today government is much focused, and government directly came out with various number of schemes. Supposedly, I can say that under the National Health Mission, at previous times it was NRHM, Okay, that is National Rural Health Mission. So today it is directly told as NHM. So in this NHM, there are various number of promotion, or there is various number of this Asha Karmis directly going every household to promote the institutional deliveries through cash incentive schemes. Supposedly here I am talking about the Janani Suraksha Yojana. Okay, then we can see Janani Shishu Suraksha Karyakram. These are the two factors under the NHM, which directly says about the institutional deliveries, okay, about delivering in public health institutions where it will get some of the free natal checkups, okay, including even the girl child, which is directly cannot deliver in some of the normal deliveries. For them, they will go for C-sections, that is the cesarean section, postnatal care, okay, treatment of sick infants. So all these things will be directly been rendered under this respective schemes. Then if I directly say about a special newborn care unit. Okay, supposedly if the newborn is directly infected with various number of diseases, so they will be directly been treated in this special newborn care unit. Then also there are various number of home-based newborn care. Okay, then also India is directly coming up with a newborn action plan, which was launched back then in 2014, and the main goal of this is the single digit neonatal mortality rate. तो जो आज ये डबल डिजिट हो रहा है, इसको हम लोग को सिंगल डिजिट बनाना पड़ेगा. जैसे आई विल डायरेक्टली बीन टेलिंग दैट हम लोग को 0 से लेके 9 तक हम लोग को सीमित करना पड़ेगा. सो देयरफॉर वी कैन गो फॉर ऑल दिस विद दिस रेस्पेक्टिव सिंगल. और ये डायरेक्टली एम है इंडिया न्यूबॉर्न एक्शन प्लान का कि हम लोग सिंगल न्यूनेटल मॉर्टेलिटी रेट करेंगे कब तक. वी विल डायरेक्टली डू इट बाय 2030. तो ये एक पर्टिकुलर प्रोग्राम है. देन वी विल गो विद दिस, दैट इज द मास स्कीम. मास स्कीम मतलब क्या है? मदर्स एब्सोल्यूट अफेक्शन. ये क्या करते हैं? इट इज फॉर इंप्रूविंग द ब्रेस्ट फीडिंग प्रैक्टिसेस. Okay, supposedly we know exclusive breastfeeding up to 6 months and complementary breastfeeding up to 2 years. Okay, तो ये सब through mass media, capacity building, healthcare providers will directly make the communities aware about such number of schemes. Also, we are going with various number of universal immunization programs. It may be against tuberculosis, diphtheria, pertussis, polio, tetanus, hepatitis B, measles. ये सबसे हम लोग क्या करेंगे? We every immunization program is considered among the mission Indradhanush. तो इंद्रधनुष के थ्रू से हम लोग क्या करेंगे? Will directly immunize the child. Okay, then we are directly going with various number of elimination of even measles by 2020. ओके, फिर हम लोग जो नेम बेस्ड ट्रैकिंग होता है मदर एंड चिल्ड्रन टिल 2 इयर्स. ऐसा तो हो सकता है कि लाइक जन्म दे दिया, इंस्टीट्यूशन डिलीवरी कर दिया, तो 2 साल तक उसका नापता लापता हो जाते हैं लोग. तो एट दैट पीरियड ऑफ टाइम वी विल डायरेक्टली गो फॉर मदर एंड चाइल्ड ट्रैकिंग सिस्टम व्हिच इज नोन एज MCTS. तो यहाँ पे हम लोग दोनों को, मदर को और चिल्ड्रन को टिल 2 इयर्स ऑफ एज इज डन टू एंश्योर कंप्लीट एंटीनेटल, इंट्रानेटल, पोस्टनेटल केयर एंड कंप्लीट इम्यूनाइजेशन एज पर द शेड्यूल. और अगर वो नहीं लेके आते हैं तो द वेरी हेल्थ केयर प्रोवाइडर्स विल विजिट देयर रेस्पेक्टिव हाउसहोल्ड्स एंड दे कुड प्रोवाइड द इम्यूनाइजेशन प्रोग्राम. So in all such number of ways, today we can slowly move towards what? About reaching a single digit mortality rate. So achieving this ambitious child survival goals requires various number of universal access to the safe, effective, high quality and affordable care for women, children as well as adolescents. Also, education as well as literacy is very much important. Awareness is very much in importance, because today when we are seeing about the lesser number of child mortality, that means we are going on some of the right tracks. Even we know about the Sustainable Development Goal 3, which calls for an end to preventable deaths of the newborn and children under 5 years of age. And it specifies that countries should aim to reduce neonatal mortality rate to at least low as 12 deaths per 12,000 12 deaths per 1,000 live births. तो ये सब हम लोग टैकल करना चाहिए. एंड टुडे वी आर डायरेक्टली गोइंग इन सम ऑफ द राइट डायरेक्शन, एंड देयरफॉर टुडे इट इज हैज डिप्ड फ्रॉम सम अराउंड 45 in 2019 to around 35 in 2000, like 35 per live birth in around 2020. अभी हम लोग धीरे धीरे करके आगे बढ़ रहे हैं. Okay, so that we could directly control such number of things, such number of manners of the live births that we can see in this present condition of India today. Okay, so this is all about child mortality and its respective topic. Okay, coming to the next one, children into adoption. So here basically we are talking about some form of adoption practices. Okay, so we can see today that today we have got many number of children, and even a recent report. Okay, एक report मैं पढ़ रहा था, that is tabled on review of guardianship and adoption laws in the parliament. Okay, so कल ही मैं पढ़ रहा था, तो उसमें directly बोला गया कि like India, despite a country with millions of orphans, there are only hardly 2430 children that is available for adoption. Okay, because of the regulation or the adoption norms that we can see in this country. Okay, and there are various number of enthusiastic parents who are ready to adopt these children. And to address this paradox, a parliamentary panel has recommended some of the district level surveys to proactively identify some of the orphaned and abandoned child. And within this particular survey, a particular report directly came into prominence, which directly said that around 27,000 prospective parents registered in the CARA. CARA क्या होता है? Child Adoption Resource Authority. ओके, तो ये मैं दिसंबर 2021 का वैल्यू बोल रहा हूँ. तो दिसंबर 2021 में 27,000 से लेके 27,500 तक का पेरेंट्स ने डायरेक्टली अप्लाई किया है कारा पे फॉर एडॉप्शन. ओके, एंड हार्डली अबाउट 18,000, आउट ऑफ सम अराउंड 27,000, हार्डली अराउंड 18,000 को हम लोग ने प्रोवाइड किया है अबाउट एडॉप्शन. तो अभी भी यहाँ पे रेट्स बहुत कम है. ओके, वी कैन सी हार्डली अराउंड 18,000 हैज ओनली गॉट एक्सेस. तो अभी भी कम से कम 9-10,000 लोग बाकी है. Okay, so we have to speed up the respective process. Okay, and we all know that indeed it is very much important to get a true picture of the number of children who are orphan abandoned through our district level. इसलिए तो ये डिस्ट्रिक्ट सर्वे हम लोग इंप्लीमेंट कर रहे हैं थ्रू कारा. ओके, तो अगर लोग पूछते हैं कि सर ये कारा क्या होता है, सी कारा इज रेस्पेक्टिव एंड ऑटोनोमस एंड स्टैट्यूटरी बॉडी अंडर द मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ वुमेन एंड चाइल्ड डेवलपमेंट, व्हिच वाज सेट अप बाय द टाइम ऑफ 1990. 1990 में ये सेटअप किया गया था. एंड ये फंक्शन क्या करते हैं? इट एक्ट्स एज अ नोडल बॉडी फॉर द एडॉप्शन ऑफ द इंडियन चिल्ड्रन, एंड इट इज वेरी मच मैंडेटेड टू मॉनिटर एंड रेगुलेट इन कंट्री एंड इंटर कंट्री एडॉप्शंस. ओके, सो कारा खाली हम लोग का इंडिया के लिए नहीं होते, इंटर कंट्री एडॉप्शंस भी ये लोग लुक आफ्टर करते हैं. ठीक है, सो देयरफॉर वी कैन सी दैट टुडे द एडॉप्शन प्रोसेस or the eligibility of the prospective adoptive parents living in India, which is duly registered under the Child Adoption Resource Information and Guidance System, जो हम लोग कैरिंग्स बोलते हैं. तो irrespective of the marital status, religion, the procedure of adoption adjusted by this particular agencies, it directly prepares a home study reports. And through these reports, they directly go for some number of adoptions. Okay, so ये जो regulations है, these regulations are very important for a country like India, where we have got so much of diversity, where we have got issues with the caste system. तो लोग ऐसे भी हो सकते हैं कि ऊपर कास्ट वाले लोग नीचे कास्ट वाले को डायरेक्टली एक्सेप्ट नहीं करते हैं. तो इन सच नंबर ऑफ सिनेरियोज टुडे वी हैव गॉट लॉट मेनी नंबर ऑफ प्रॉब्लम्स, एंड इसीलिए ये चाइल्ड अडॉप्शन का रेगुलेशन बहुत जरूरी है. क्योंकि लोग चाइल्ड अडॉप्शन करने के लिए लेके जाएंगे, लेकिन वहां पे जाके क्या करेंगे? किडनी ट्रांसप्लांटेशन करेंगे, ऑर्गन ट्रांसप्लांटेशन करेंगे, डोनेशन करेंगे, ये लोग को बैगर के हिसाब से कहीं पे भेज देंगे, ट्रैफिकिंग होगा इन लोग का, तो वो सब भी बहुत हो सकता है. ओके, सो देयरफॉर द जुवेनाइल जस्टिस केयर एंड प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ चिल्ड्रन एक्ट ऑफ 2015 it directly regulates child adoption. Then जो हम लोग का हिंदू एडॉप्शन, हामा बोलते हैं उसको, हिंदू एडॉप्शन एंड मेंटेनेंस एक्ट 1956, उसको करते हैं. ठीक है, तो you can see that there are various number of regulations through which this number of child adoption is directly taking in practice. So we have, मैंने जो बोला था, because these regulations are very much necessary in a country like us where we have got various issues for adoption. ओके, सपोजली मैंने जो बोला है, रैट टैपिज्म तो बहुत होता है. ठीक है, देन लीनियज डिस्क्रिमिनेशन, डिस्क्रिमिनेशन बहुत होता है एज अकॉर्डिंग टू कास्ट, रेस, सेक्स, ब्लड, ये सब होता है. ठीक है, इसके बाद एज ऑफ द साइड चाइल्ड, अगर एक उम्र से लोग ज्यादा बढ़ जाते हैं तो दैट चाइल्ड, सपोजली किसी ने 5 years 6 years क्रॉस कर दिए, तो दिस कैन बी थिंग इज सीन दैट वो लोग कम एक्सेप्ट करते हैं. ठीक है, जनरली द इन्फेंट्स आर वेरी मच एक्सेप्टेड फॉर अडॉप्शन. ओके, सो इन ऑल दिस प्रैक्टिसेस टुडे वी कैन सी दैट दिस चाइल्ड अडॉप्शंस, ओके, जो आज ऑर्फन लोग हैं, तो आज द पैनल जो डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल में आज सर्वे किया गया था, ये आज बोल रहे हैं कि therefore more children should be directly brought under the ambit of the adoption, because today everyone is focused towards natural child, because सब लोग चाहते हैं कि अपना खुद का बच्चा हो. The people who are getting infertility also, they are going to some of the infertility clinics, they are taking the help of the medicine as to produce their own child. ओके, तो ये सब थोड़ा बहुत हो रहा है आजकल. सरोगेसी का भी बहुत ज्यादा शौक चला हुआ है लोगों के बीच में, तो वो सब भी थोड़ा बहुत हो रहा है. तो बिकॉज ऑफ दिस ऑल फैक्ट्स वी कैन सी, एंड बिकॉज ऑफ सम ऑफ द स्ट्रिक्टर अडॉप्शन लॉज टुडे वी कैन सी दैट द अडॉप्शन इज लेस एज कंपेयर्ड टू सम ऑफ द अदर कंट्रीज हु गोज फॉर द अडॉप्शन प्रैक्टिसेस. तो इसीलिए अभी ये सब न्यूज में था कि वी शुड गो फॉर मोर नंबर ऑफ अडॉप्शन, द पीपल हु आर डायरेक्टली एलिजिबल टू डायरेक्टली गो फॉर सच नंबर ऑफ अडॉप्शन प्रैक्टिस. तो ये न्यूज था, that is of children adoption. Coming to the next one, that is defense system in Atmanirbhar push. Okay, so when I say about a defense system, we know that our military, okay, which consists of all these respective three armed forces of our country, they need a respective amount of weapons, okay, so as to directly go for a full-fledged army and to bring the strongest army to counter their respective neighborhood enemies, okay. So to give a thrust to the Atmanirbhar Bharat in the defense sector, even the Prime Minister recently handed over various number of indigenously designed as well as developed equipment to the Armed Forces Service Chiefs, that is the Tri-Armed Forces Service Chiefs, okay. So here I am directly saying that Atmanirbhar India in defense, if I say about, so today we can see that India is directly thinking of building a defense industrial corridor. So अगर मैं देखूँ that a significant step in this indigenization, which was announced by the finance minister in 2018 also, but it was directly decided to set up some of the two defense industrial corridors in Tamil Nadu as well as उत्तर प्रदेश. तो आज अगर हम लोग AK-46 राइफल्स हम लोग रशिया के साथ एग्लोमरेट लेके हम लोग बना रहे हैं, सो एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम आई एम डायरेक्टली फोकस मच मोर टुवर्ड्स यूपी. Okay, so Tamil Nadu and UP में हम लोग industrial corridors बनाना चाहते हैं. Okay, because the aim of the Uttar Pradesh corridor is to directly revive the largest MSME base of Uttar Pradesh to support defense manufacturing, okay, in this respective region. Okay, so the modernization with various number of indigenization is a very need of today's Atmanirbhar Bharat. So recently, when you can see about the Bharat Dynamics Limited, is directly started with the foundation laying ceremony in Jhansi, which will directly go for the BrahMos being the major investment, which will come into Lucknow with a private sector investment, which will be specialized in various number of titaniums, alloys. ये सब लेके हम लोग BrahMos को upgrade करेंगे. Okay, today, therefore, the Indian defense manufacturer has signed MOUs with various other countries, be it Israel, be it Russia, be it France, so as to modernize and indigenize the weapons that is produced in our country. Okay, though we have got various number of problems associated because our particular defense sector is purely public sector driven. आज अगर मैं हिंदुस्तान एरोनॉटिकल्स लिमिटेड का बात बोलूं, बेल का बात बोलूं, भारत इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स लिमिटेड, ओके, देन भारत डायनेमिक्स लिमिटेड, ओके, इंडियन ऑर्डिनेंस फैक्ट्री, these are all public sector driven, okay, and all four of these companies are public sector and account for the bulk of the domestic MN that is very much in demand. So इसी के लिए हम लोग को थोड़ा प्राइवेटाइजेशन के ऊपर भी सोचना पड़ेगा. Okay, and today, even though we are focused much more towards indigenization, R&D हम लोग का यहाँ पे बहुत कम होता है. Okay, and also the coordination between all such number of units who are manufacturing such number of defense equipments is also very less. Okay, तो ये सब हम लोग का प्रॉब्लम है, लेकिन फिर भी गवर्नमेंट इज डायरेक्टली वेरी मच ऑप्टिमिस्टिक इन टेकिंग वेरियस नंबर ऑफ इनिशिएटिव्स, बी इट इफ आई टेल अबाउट द DPE-PP 2020 डिफेंस प्रोडक्शन एंड एक्सपोर्ट प्रमोशन पॉलिसी. इसके बाद we are directly thinking about some of the strategic partnerships with some of the friendlier countries with India. Then also we'll go for positive indigenization, which will directly ban the import of every respective equipments that is directly coming in from outside the country of India. So therefore, the Ministry of Defense along with the DRDO and some of the other units are successfully taking some of the necessary steps, okay, to ensure the timelines mentioned in the list for the completion of the respective projects. Okay, so the more number of indigenization innovation today we are doing in a country, the more number of outputs that we can produce in the coming times. And today the aim of the India is to make a defense production hub. And if India is to become the net security provider in the Indian region or the South Asian region, these are the aspects that it must take into account when they will think for defense. आज हम लोग Philippines को, आज हम लोग Vietnam को, we are directly supplying them with some of the defense equipments. Today they are very much interested towards the BrahMos. So in that category, we can see that we may directly, in some point of time, rather than being a defense importer, we can be a defense exporter in the coming times. तो ये directly क्या होता है? It's a push directly to the Atmanirbhar Bharat. Okay, that is the concept of Make in India. Okay, that is coming to the next one. Bioengineered corneas. Okay, so when I say about bioengineered corneas, or when I say about the term that is known as cornea, so cornea means what? The transparent layer forming the front of the eye. तो उसको हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं? Cornea बोलते हैं. Okay, so now you can see that today it is one of the leading cause of blindness. Approximately 12.7 people are blind, particularly affecting those in the poorer countries. तो आज अगर मैं इंडिया के बारे में सोचूं, today India has got some around 1.1 million corneally blind, and some 1 lakh patients, more than 1 lakh patients directly need some of the transplantations of this corneal blindness. And hardly we can see per year 25,000 only transplantations occurs. और ये तो और बदतर हो गया था कब? ड्यूरिंग द टाइम ऑफ द कोविड पैंडेमिक. कोविड पेंडेमिक अगर मैं मान लूं मार्च 2020 से लेके अराउंड मार्च 2021, तो हार्डली 10,000 लोग ही कॉर्नियल ट्रांसप्लांटेशन कर पाए, वेयर इट रिक्वायर्स अराउंड 1 लाख। ठीक है। सो बिकॉज ऑफ सच टाइप ऑफ सिचुएशंस, ओके, हु आर कॉर्नियली ब्लाइंड, सो आज हम लोग न्यू सर्जिकल इक्विपमेंट से, न्यू पर्टिकुलर टेक्नोलॉजी से, व्हेन टेक्नोलॉजी मीट्स मेडिसिन, तो टुडे वी आर डायरेक्टली फोकस मच मोर टुवर्ड्स द कैटेगराइजेशन ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी विद मेडिसिन। सो इसमें मैं नाम लेना चाहता हूँ डॉक्टर वीरेंद्र सिंह संगवान का। ओके, ही वाज अ ही इज अ इंडियन ऑप्थेल्मोलॉजिस्ट। तो ये ऑप्थेल्मोलॉजिस्ट ही डायरेक्टली इज गोइंग इज ही डायरेक्टली वेंट फॉर यूएसए। तो यूएसए में जाके उन्होंने क्या पढ़ा? स्टेम सेल पढ़ा था। तो 2000 में वो वापस आके इंडिया में स्टेम सेल का रीजनरेटिव कैपेसिटी वो लोग यहाँ पे रिसर्च की। सो नो वन वाज वेरी मच फोकस्ड टुवर्ड्स द स्टेम सेल्स। ये लोग सच सोच रहे थे कि स्टेम सेल्स इज डायरेक्टली इन पेपर्स, इन रिसर्च पेपर्स ओनली इट इज यूज्ड। बट इन्होंने प्रैक्टिकली, this ophthalmologist, he practically made the use of this stem cell technology to directly make some of the cornea bioengineered from pig collagen. Okay, so we know that as a substitute for a human corneas, the researchers utilized the medical grade collagen derived from the pig skin, and that is a byproduct of the food industries, क्योंकि हम लोग बहुत ज्यादा कंजम्पशन करते हैं. Okay, a byproduct of the food industry that is already used in various number of medical devices for even the glaucoma surgery. Glaucoma is also a disease with respect to the eyes, and this is not only cheaper and easier to access, but also requires a less invasive procedure, and even can be stored for a significantly longer period of time. It can go up to 2 years अगर हम लोग ने एक बार बना लिया तो. Okay, and therefore we can see that the researchers even directly claim that ये जो method है, इस method में minimal investment होता है without the use of even stitches, where if even a small incision is directly made in the patient's eye and the implant is inserted over the existing cornea, and this can be done with today's high precision laser equipments. Okay, so this new method was used by surgeons in India and Iran, where there is a lack of donated corneas. क्योंकि आज हम लोग अगर डोनेशन का बात बोले तो we can see the donations of kidney, heart, okay, this eyes, okay, liver, ये सब directly we can see these are the things that are getting donated. So today for the very much of accessible people who were totally blind, क्योंकि ये जो corneal blindness होता है ये धीरे धीरे करके complete blindness का रूप ले लेते हैं, and we can all see that every people in a populous country like India, everyone is directly fed with such number of them. मैंने क्या बोला था? 1.1 million people directly under the corneal blindness. So therefore, through this particular mechanisms, we can directly make access, and the results show some of the various tremendous success of this particular corneal bioengineering, and it directly meets all the criteria for being used as human implants. And एक बार ये जो रिसर्चेस है, ये जो रिजल्ट्स है, ये डायरेक्टली मास मीडिया में पब्लिश हो गया, then you can see that the mass production of such number of pig collagen will be used, and such number of corneas bioengineered would be used to implant the corneas in the respective human eye. Okay, so we can see that since we have got a huge number of livestocks in our country, आज हम लोग का livestock सबसे ज्यादा है. We are the world's largest producer of livestocks, and we have got a good number of population of the pigs. So यहाँ से pig collagen skin से collagen collect करना हम लोग के लिए ना difficult काम नहीं है. Okay, which is very much freely available in our environment, in our ecology. So therefore, this is a particular technique through which we will directly rectify the cornea blindness, which is infested in some around 1.1 million people in our country. Okay, so this was associated with some of the science technology. चलो, coming to the next one. Short discussion about the editorial one. Okay, so यहाँ पे हम लोग क्या बात करेंगे? We will discuss something about the science, technology as well as innovation. So if I tell about, see, this science, technology and innovation, ये जो process है, we can see that the Department of Science and Technology have jointly initiated the formulation of respective policy of STIP. ये 2020 में आ गया, Science, Technology, Innovation Policy. Okay, so this Department of Science and Technology is very much interested towards the innovation of various number of sciences or technologies that we have in our country. Okay, so यहाँ पे directly we have seen that there are 4 number of policies previously. Supposedly 2020 से पहले हम लोग 4 types of STIPs देखते हैं. तो पहला STIP आया था, that is the Scientific Policy Resolution. ये आया था 1958. Okay, 1958 के टाइम में the first policy came into practice, which is known as Scientific Policy Resolution. And it is the India's first major science policy that can be traced back to the year of 1958. And in this very policy, it laid the foundation of the scientific enterprises as well as the scientific temper of India. उसके बाद आया अराउंड 1983 और इसको बोलते हैं हम लोग TPS, that is Technology Policy Statement. And the primary feature of this TPS was technological self-reliance through promotion and development of indigenous technologies. पहली बार हम लोग ने सोचा about indigenous technologies in this very policy statement. उसके बाद आया 2003 में, इसको बोलते हैं हम लोग STP, that is Science and Technology Policy. And its aim was what? Its aim was to keep up the pace with science and technology and also to stay competitive in an increasingly globalized world and to meet the primary goal of equitable and sustainable development. Okay, okay. After 2003, we can see that the revolutionary step after 1990, that is the LPG, we are in touch with the globalized world. Our market was very much open to the outside world. तो ये सब हुआ था, तो इसीलिए हम लोग का यहाँ पे हम लोग ने जो competitive world है in this globalized world, हम लोग ने उसको meet करने का सोचा. Okay, so at that point of time, we can see that around 2013, after 2003, 2013 10 साल के बाद इसके टाइम हम लोग ने लाया था STI, that is Science, Technology and Innovation Policy. Okay, and the decade of 2010 to 2020 was declared as a decade of innovation. Innovation के लिए हम लोग ने decade दिया, and this policy directly acknowledged that in order to stay some of the globally competitive with respect to the country of India, it was very much necessary for a country like India to make a transition into a knowledge-based economy. Okay, and therefore, through this policy, we wanted to bring a robust national innovation ecosystem. Okay, so इसीलिए from that very period of time until 2030, we haven't seen any number of policy directly coming into practice. तो इसीलिए ये जो national science आज जो हम लोग STIP बोलते हैं, okay, so यहाँ पे STP, then we can see about STI. So now I am directly saying that STIP 2020. Today, this STIP 2020, it will also integrate the various lessons of the pandemic that we have learned from Corona, including a building of an Atmanirbhar Bharat by leveraging India's strength in R&D, that is research and development, in design, in science and technology, okay, and in institutions, huge market, and even taking advantage of the demographic dividend that we have in our country. Okay, so therefore, this STIP today is directly focused much more towards more and more on indigenous innovations. And through these innovations, we could directly see that in collaboration with all the other basic areas or other basic institutions of today, supposedly the Sir Doraji Tata Trust. Okay, so in Mumbai, along with the CSIR, okay, that is the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research. तो इन लोग के साथ हम लोग मिलके we can directly cooperate and we can directly make a mandate of making the contemporary technological available and training required manpower in this particular country in a wholesome manner. तो ये हम लोग करना चाहते हैं थ्रू व्हाट साइंस टेक्नोलॉजी एंड इनोवेशन. सपोजली मैंने ये प्रीवियस वाले में जो बोला था बायो इंजीनियरिंग कॉर्नियास, ओके, तो ये भी हम लोग का एक इंडियन ऑप्थेल्मोलॉजिस्ट है. So he is also going in for various number of, he is directly making the technology with medicine. So in this very thing we are using some form of technology. और ये बायो इंजीनियरिंग ये क्या है? इनोवेशन है इन साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी, बायो इंजीनियरिंग. Okay, so in every particular sense we are directly cooperating or we are directly making focus much more towards research and development, which will ultimately leads to the progress of the nation in terms of innovation techniques and where we can directly compete with the globalized world. तो ये था हम लोग का an accessible editorial of the science, technology as well as innovation. Okay, so this is all for today. We can see the 5 number of questions. You can directly attempt these questions in the comment sections below and one main question as you said. Okay, so we'll meet with the same type of analysis tomorrow. Okay, so till then, thank you and Jai Hind.